What's up YouTube? My name is Amos Bro. For this video we are going to be discussing something because it's something I've been remiss in talking about. The year that we are in is 2017. Do you realize that 100 years ago the form of media known as Japanese anime was created? 100 years ago. And for some of us, it probably became a really big part of our lives in maybe, at least here in the West, in maybe the 90s. For some of us, like myself, Sailor Moon was one of the big deals. But think about something for me, because this is going to be a very interesting topic. Think about the good that anime has done, especially since it expanded its reach into the West and has become a mainstay in our mainstream pop culture. Think about all the good it's done by bringing people together that have liked certain shows, or liked many different shows maybe, in many different genres. Think about that, because it's a very important thing. It has taken some shows which ordinarily may be specifically geared towards one gender and has expanded the audience of a series into both of them, and has caused a very interesting split over time. Look at what Sailor Moon did since it's came over here since at least I started watching in 97. Think about that for me, 1997. Think about that for me. Think about the fact that some people may have only been writing one-page short stories because that's the way we were taught to write them in, creative writing classes when we were in school. Especially grammar school. I know because I had to do it. Now, because you may watch an anime, or you may watch some other series, you may have started to write more multi-chapter stories based on a series that you like. I can tell you, without even hesitation, that when Sailor Moon and Gundam Wing were two of the big animes around here, I would sit down and I would write stories that were, longer than one page. They'd be 5 or 10 pages. They'd be, I don't know. Unfortunately, I couldn't continue writing them, but they were probably going into 10, 20 chapters long. Why? Because the characters resonated with me in such a way that I wanted to see how would I write myself in that particular universe. Nowadays, we call that self-inserting or self-shipping, if there's a particular character you like. Back then, we didn't have a name for it. Some people don't understand why some people enjoy doing that. And that's perfectly fine. I have no ill towards those people. But think about this. There are people that will look at anime as a bad thing because of the over-sexualization of female characters, which is something that I'm completely against. Let me go ahead and say that right now. And they also want to be able to say they can see representation of different sexual orientations and genders. And I'm not against that either. I applaud it, actually. It is a very interesting thing when you see the way sometimes the creators of the animes and the mangakas, the manga artists and writers, scripters, the way they tell their stories, not just in a self-contained one episode, but over the course of 3, 6, 9, 12, 24, 46, and so on. Look how long the series is, like, I don't know, Detective Conan, we know his case closed. One Piece have gone on for. Look at, now granted this is We have a different case, but look at Pokemon. Okay? Let's even look at, say, Utapri, which has actually taken the genre that it was a part of and broken out of that stereotype for the most part. It has now gone on just being a stereotypical otome anime and become one of the most popular idol animes on the planet. Not just in Japan, but has garnered a pretty big reach here in the Western side of things. And that, my friends, tells you something about the way a show goes. It is amazing to me when you watch certain shows, and you'll sometimes get people in different fandoms saying, "Hey, so you're watching blah blah blah, you're watching Bungo Stray Dogs, you're watching Suke Yuta, you're watching Dream Festival, you're watching Kuroko's Basketball, you're watching Ace of Diamond." I can keep going. Slam Dunk, Dear Boys, pick one. The fact is that anime is one of the most varied forms of entertainment that we have been blessed with, I believe, in the United States of America, or in the West, period. Because how many people do you know that before they started watching these shows from other countries, from Japan, how many people do you know that probably never even thought about writing a fanfic, just writing creatively in general? How many people do you know that probably never even thought about drawing before? And maybe they watched, I don't know, Kuroko's Basketball, and they liked the way Kisryota looked. So they drew him hanging out with, say, Aomin Daiki. Do you see what I'm saying? How many people do you know that wouldn't have thought, outside of Halloween, to dress up like a particular character from one of their favorite television series, from one of their favorite animes, because they saw that character and they related to them so much? How many people do you know would be willing to say, "I like this character because they remind me of myself in this way"? That is why anime is so important. And when I see people that try to downplay, maybe in a joking manner, but maybe they mean it, I don't know. When people try to downplay the significance and the importance of Japanese anime in the Western culture, or just in general, it's a disservice. Because think about this. This is a genre which is 100 years old. You've got God knows how many animes that, if they're lucky, then they can pass one season. You've got some which have gone on now forever, because they have been that popular and they are so ingrained in the culture. There's animes that are still ongoing that have over 5,000 episodes. Think about that for me. And they've been going since the 1960s. Anime is a very important part of the culture. It's not just, yes, it's a Japanese product, but it's no longer just a Japanese only. Thanks to things like Crunchyroll and Hulu and Yahoo View and Daisuki, we have been blessed, we have been gifted in some respects something which I don't know if there's something that's going to take over in the next 20 years that is going to become as popular. You can say that anime is a niche thing. Okay, explain to me then all the people that go in line up for Otakon or whatever, or Anime Expo. Explain to me all the people that will go in March to the Quartet Night concert for Utapri, and then 6th stage when it happens in May. Some people, maybe they take it a little too far, and those people, I can understand why some people call them, what's the term they use now, weeaboo? Because the otaku has become a very accepted term instead of an insult. But it's okay to show your fandom. It is okay to spend God knows how much you're going to spend on merch, because you know what? You want to support your show. And maybe you can't buy the merch. You know what? Write the fan fictions that you want to write. If you want to, and hey, if you want to write where it's you paired with one of your favorites, by all means do it. Because God knows I have no shame in doing it anymore. I pretty much said, hey, if anybody wants to hate on me for it, they can go screw off. Anime became a very important thing to me in 1997 when I first saw Sailor Moon. Because here's the thing. Here's the other thing you have to understand. Anime, in many respects, I believe firmly, and I will go to my grave believing this, it has broken gender barriers. Shows which ordinarily you would think would be geared towards a male-only audience gets a female viewership. Now, maybe the female viewers are in there because they are interested in the story and they're interested in the characters. Maybe they're into it because they want to put two male characters together for one of their ships. Whatever. Here's the point. Anime at this point doesn't give a fuck what kind of, audience it's attracting. Yes, it might have one particular one that's looking for its audience, but it doesn't mean it's limited to just that. Sailor Moon may have started as a female only, but over time it garnered a audience which is practically a 50-50 split of male and female. Look at Yutapri. Yutapri, when it first started as an otome, it was geared towards just the female audience. What did they do? They made it into an anime. Guess what happened? At 5th stage, we started seeing a male audience, which, oh, by the way, was being openly acknowledged by members of the cast. And I made a video about this in the past, if you'll go check. But this is what's important, and this is why it's important. Anime has created, I want to say, people that have never thought about doing cosplay, have never thought about writing, have never thought about drawing, have never thought about even writing opinion pieces on an anime series. If it wasn't for anime, do you think I would have started in 2013? Do you think I would have started reviewing animes again? No, I would have sat here with my thumb up my rectum trying to figure out what I wanted to do on my YouTube channel. Because I was doing one thing and I found out that I really didn't like doing it. Which for the most part was doing pickup videos, which is irony because I just did one recently. But that's the thing. Anime has created a lot of different people. How many people do you think are now wanting to get into animation because of that? Now, okay, you can also say they're getting into it because of some Western shows like Steven Universe, like Adventure Time, Bob's Burgers, or something like that. That's cool. But how many people do you think are looking at the way they animate in Japan and go, I want to do that? I go on Twitter and I look up some of the Japanese Twitters because people retweet them. And I look at some of their drawings and they blow my mind. I can't read what's in the bubble sometimes in the descriptions, but just the art itself is what is important, and it astounds me to this day what people are creating, especially in the Yutapri fandom, for heavens. A group which, last I heard, was getting like 8% of the popular vote of the 3 main units in Yutapri. this is something that we need to seriously look at, and this is something we seriously need to examine. The growth of the anime industry in this country, the expansion of audiences that we wouldn't have thought would have been there. How many people would have thought that if the Udapri anime came out, you would have had somebody like me making videos discussing his opinion or his videos on the news that concern an anime about 18 bishis, 18 singing idols, and one female composer? How many people would have thought that on this day I would have talked about that or ranted about that in a video? It wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened because if anime wasn't allowed to come over here, we'd never hear about it. We'd never hear about the Udapri. We'd never hear about the Liquidadora. We'd never hear about Brothers Conflict. We'd never hear about Dance with Devils or Diabolic Lovers. We'd never hear about Kamagami no Asobi. We wouldn't hear about any of these series. We wouldn't hear about Haiku. We wouldn't hear about Kuroko. We wouldn't hear about Diamond no Ace, Ace of Diamond. We wouldn't hear about any of these. We wouldn't hear about Suke Yuta and Suki Pro coming up soon. Or Dream Festival. We wouldn't have heard about Sailor Moon when it came out. This genre that we talk about, this genre that we make videos on, that we make posts about on Facebook or Tumblr, is seriously speaking one of the single most important genres of entertainment possible. And anybody who wants to tell you otherwise doesn't get the impact that we have gotten from this in the 20 years that I have been able to see it. Do you understand that? Do you get it? Do you get why we have to do our best to protect it? Do you get why it is, seriously speaking, it's Japan's import to the world, so to speak. But we have helped show that it was worth the time and the effort to bring over shows like Sailor Moon, to start streaming shows like the Kuroko's Best Ball, the Haiku, the different Gundam series and everything else, the Detective Conans. If it wasn't for shows like Sailor Moon, Gundam Wing, and probably, Robotech? And hell, even Tekkaman, or as we know here, Technoman? Guess what wouldn't have happened? We wouldn't have gotten to show people. And remember I made this video. If it wasn't for Akira when I came out, we wouldn't be here today in 2017. We wouldn't be sitting here saying to ourselves, we got this, we need to protect it now. We need to cultivate it. We need to make sure that it grows in a positive light. There's negative things that are going to happen, yes. But we have to protect it from all the negativity, because you know what? If we don't, we're going to destroy, in my opinion, the faith that we can maturely handle one of the greatest gifts we were ever given. And now, not just with anime, but we also have, of course, the J-dramas and the K-dramas. And I want to see someday all the different artists be able to come over to the US because they became popular enough. I would love to see like Mamoru Mayano or Tomoaki Meino. Please listen. This is one of the single most important things we've ever gotten. and I want to make sure that we take care of it to the best of our abilities. On that note, I'll let you go. Y'all take care, my friends. Later.